Transparent RGB controllers for the Switch aren't everybody's thing. To be honest, they're not really even my thing, but I did receive one in the mail from BinBok, and it made me wonder, how many of these things are actually out there and how good are they? So after messing around with the one they sent me for a while, I went on Amazon and found every other RGB transparent controller for the Switch that I could find, and believe it or not, there's really not too many of them. So today I have 4 transparent controllers for the Nintendo Switch, and I am going to try to help you figure out which one of them is best for you. What's up guys, welcome back or welcome in for the first time. If you are new here, do me a favor, jump down in the description of this video and click the link to our Discord. We're in there every day talking about all kinds of stuff, including transparent controllers for the Switch. So click that link and I'll see you in there after this video. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with this one because this one is this one's missing something that the rest of them have, and that is actually the RGB. This one has no lights in it, and before we get too deep into this, I'm just gonna let you guys know I have 4 controllers here. 3 of them don't really have a name. 1 of them does. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave links below to all these, and we're just gonna call this one the red one. Now overall, to start out with, this one's pretty good. Like I said, it doesn't have the RGB, but it does have this red motherboard inside, which matches all the red buttons and sticks that are on the outside. And I think for the most part, it looks pretty good. The general shape of this thing is a lot like an Xbox controller, but as you can see here, it does have the PlayStation setup with the 2 sticks on the bottom instead of them being offset like on an Xbox controller or on the Switch. So if you're a fan of that configuration, this controller may be for you. I'm not a huge fan of it, it doesn't bother me that much, but the sticks, buttons, everything on this controller is fine. The only thing I don't really like, the buttons are a little bit stiff, just a little bit. They're not too bad, it's not anything, you know, it's not anything crazy. All the shoulder buttons are fine, everything in there is a little loose, but for $25, you can't really complain. It does charge by USB-C on the top here. It's got motion control and it's got rumble, but the one thing that this controller definitely has going for it is the D-pad. The D-pad really surprised me on this one. I would say of all of the controllers on this list, this one definitely has the best D-pad for sure. It's very smooth, very easy to use. It's not raised up too high off of the controller. It's not too low. It's really perfect. It may be a little bit small for some people, but other than that, it's a really good D-pad. Now, one problem I did have with this controller is I could not get it to pair until I actually plugged it into the Switch. It would not pair at all. The rest of these did pair fairly easily, but this one I had a lot of trouble getting it to pair. So not a huge deal, but if you do get this one, just know you're probably gonna have to plug it directly into the dock to get it to actually pair correctly. Overall though, not a bad controller. And like I said, for 25 bucks, if you're looking for something like this and not worried about the RGB, this might be the way to go. Also, if you don't like the red, this also comes in black. I'll have both of those linked down below. Really quickly, before we get too far into the video, I wanna tell you about today's sponsor, Curology. Curology is a subscription-based skincare brand that allows you to customize a formula based on your specific needs. Not only that, it is also delivered to your door. You don't even have to go out and pick it up. So I've been using my custom formula for over a year. As some of you know, Curology sponsored another video of mine a long time ago, and I started using it about 2 months before that. I said at that time, this was a product I didn't even know that I needed. I didn't have that many problems with acne or anything like that, but the little bit of problems I did have with that are non-existent now, so that is a huge bonus, but that's not even really what my custom formula was targeting. My custom formula was targeting something completely different, which was skin firmness, but that is something you can talk directly to your dermatologist provider over the phone once you sign up for the service. After you sit down with them and figure out what your skincare needs are, they will make a custom formula just for you. Not only that, they're going to provide you with all the information you need about using your formula, and if you ever have any questions, your provider is literally an email away. It is very easy to sign up, guys. The link is going to be in the description below, and I have not even told you the best part. All you have to pay for your first bottle is the shipping. The rest is on Curology. So if you sign up with the link in the description of this video, you are essentially getting your first month for free. All you have to do is pay $5 for the shipping. So again, guys, the link is in the description below. Make sure you click on that, get your first bottle on the way to you for just $5 for the shipping. And thank you very much to Curology for sponsoring this video. Okay, so the next one on the list was sent to me to check out by BinBok. Yes, the same BinBok who makes the Joy-Cons that I really didn't like. Clearly, I'm, the only person on the planet who didn't. Everyone else seemed to love them besides me. You can see that by the comment section of that video, but I didn't really enjoy them. So I was surprised when I got an email from BinBok asking me if I wanted to try this one out. And I said, yeah, sure. They're actually also sending the newer versions of those Joy-Cons that I did not like over as soon as they're ready. So we'll definitely be taking a look at those. But right now I want to focus on this one. And the first thing you need to know about this controller right here is it is exactly the same shape as the Switch Pro controller. It is almost identical. I would say the only thing that is a very big difference is the way that everything feels, and then maybe these trigger buttons here. They have a little bit of a flip to them, which actually there's another controller on this list that has the same buttons on the back. They're not bad. They're fine. As you can see here, it lights up blue. There's a button right here on the side that changes the RGB. And it's got 8 different colors that it cycles through, and then you can get to the end here, and it will light up with different colors. So having a dedicated button for the RGB is, in my opinion, a good idea. And it's down here by the stick, and you're never gonna hit that on accident. It's in a place where it's pretty much completely out of the way. Now this one I do have some slight issues with, but I will say this is a lot better than the Joy-Cons in my opinion. Again, my opinion's clearly wrong on the Joy-Cons. So, take it for what you will. But in my opinion, this controller is a step above, and the price is actually a step down. That was one thing I really thought about those Joy-Cons that was kind of weird. I didn't think they were that high quality for the price they were asking for them. This controller is only 25 bucks. And I think it's actually a little bit higher quality than the Joy-Cons. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think they are using the same exact buttons in this controller that they use for the Joy-Cons. Now, I'm not sure, because I did send those back, but they look the same, they kind of feel the same, but the difference is they're inside of this plastic, which in my opinion is a lot better than what's in the Joy-Cons, so they don't feel as cheap as I thought they did in the Joy-Cons. So that's a plus. The sticks are fine. The one on the left had a little bit of a piece of plastic maybe stuck on the top of it or something, but it was making a little bit of a weird kind of grinding feeling for a while, but it did wear down and that's gone away now. So I wouldn't say that that's gonna be every controller. That may just be this one and the way that it came off the assembly line. I'm not sure. This does have a turbo button, and the red one also has a turbo button. I didn't mention that, but I have to say the D-pad on this, while it's better than the Joy-Cons that I got from them, it's still not great. Definitely not my favorite on the list, but I mean, for 25 bucks, it's passable. It does have rumble, it does have gyro control, so it's got really everything except the NFC, which none of these have NFC. As you know, that's something that you don't see a whole lot in third-party controllers. Just like the Pro controller, it charges with USB-C right here on the top and looks pretty much exactly the same. Like I said, it's pretty much the same exact shape. This one's not bad. If you really like the RGB on this one, I would say go ahead and get it. If you think you're gonna need the D-pad for a lot of stuff, you may wanna go with maybe the first one on this list or the last one. The D-pad on this one is not strong. The next one on the list is actually also exactly the same as the Pro controller as far as the way that it is shaped. Clearly taken from the same exact mold, but this one does have the PlayStation configuration for the sticks. I would compare this one a lot to the BinBok one. I didn't have any issues with the sticks being crunchy or grindy with this one, but again, that could have just been that one stick. I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, you can see here, this one has a blue tint to the clear plastic. It's got a white motherboard on the inside, and that goes with all the white buttons and sticks that are on the outside. I think this one looks pretty good. But to be honest, I think they are using the same exact buttons, the same exact D-pad in this one that they are for the BinBok one. They are very, very similar in the way that they feel. The D-pad's almost the same. Not great. Another thing about this one is it does have the RGB inside, but it only lights up one color, which is blue. It will light up red when the battery is gonna die, and I do understand that because when it lights up red coming through that blue, it looks weird. So I think blue works for this. It would look weird with another color coming through. But again, in that $25 price range, you're still getting everything. You're getting the rumble, you're getting the motion controls. Not a great D-pad, but it's definitely comparable to the BinBok or the red one that we looked at before. It does also have a turbo button, and I don't wanna forget about that. So any of these three, I think you're gonna be okay with, especially for $25. If there's one that you like more than the other, I think any of these would be fine, if that's the price that you're looking to pay for one of these controllers. Now remember, the red one doesn't have RGB. The other two don't have very good D-pads. If you wanna spend a little bit extra, I also did pick this one up, and I would say it's probably the superior controller on the list, obviously at about double the price. It's $45, but this is the Afterglow by PDP. It's got some flaws, it's not perfect, but as far as the way it feels, the D-pad's great. All the face buttons, really nice. Sticks are great. We don't really need to go into detail on any of that stuff because it's all fine. It works the way it should. It feels good. You don't even really think about it when you're using it. So that's definitely a good thing. This one does come with a few extras though. It does have this big pad on the back, which is actually 2 programmable buttons. So you got one on each side here, but they're connected as one big plastic piece along the back. Now, something I was worried about is being as big as it is, I was afraid I was going to accidentally hit the buttons a lot. I did it a few times. It wasn't that bad. It was a lot less of a problem than I thought it was going to be. It does do something weird though, and I have not figured this out. There's a little lever on the bottom that you can slide to the side here, and the whole button comes out. Now, I don't know if that's, you know, to be taken off there if you're accidentally hitting the buttons or what's going on with that, but like the buttons are still in there. They're just deeper in there, and now there's just a big hole on the back. So I'm not really sure what the point of that is, but it does come off. I don't know, maybe it's for cleaning. I'm not 100% sure. The RGB on this one is actually really, really crazy though. I could literally make a whole video trying to explain all the different functions of the RGB, so I'm just gonna give you kind of the highlights here. There's a button on the front here that you press that's gonna let you assign these 2 back buttons, but you can also press that button down and use the D-pad. You can change the color of these lights to literally any color on the spectrum. You just keep pressing over and it just cycles through just different shades of any color you could really think of. Now, not only that, you can make it solid on a color, you can make it breathe on a color, you can make it breathe into different colors. There's even a setting where you can make it change colors depending on which way you're pushing the stick. I'll make sure I get a bunch of B-roll of all that stuff so you guys can see it. It really is actually pretty impressive. There are a lot of other videos out on the internet that you can see, you know, all the functions of this thing, because there are a lot. I'm not gonna go over all of them in this video, but this is a really good controller. It does have some flaws. It's got some drawbacks. One thing, it doesn't have rumble, which isn't a huge deal to me, but you know, these $25 controllers have rumble, this one doesn't. Again, not a huge deal to me, but to a lot of people, that is a big deal. This is kind of a big deal to me though. This does not charge with USB-C. It takes the old micro USB. For me, that kind of sucks. A few years ago, it probably wouldn't have bothered me nearly as bad as it does now, but nowadays, it's really hard for me to even find one of those cables laying around. This microphone that I'm using right here actually takes one of those. The only reason I still have one that I can find, and like I said, lose all the time and have to go find again, is because of this microphone. Everything else I use takes USB-C, well, except for my iPhone, but everything beside my iPhone, everything but that takes USB-C, so having to find a different cable to use with this, that's a huge con for me. Now, I know this controller's been out for a long time. I know it came out a little bit after the launch of the Switch in like 2017, but that's really no excuse. The Switch has USB-C on the Pro controller. This should have USB-C, in my opinion anyway. So guys, if you are looking for a transparent controller for your Switch, these are pretty much gonna be your options. There was one other option from Nyko, but it was kind of a frosted color, and I didn't think that really applied to this. It is semi-transparent, but I wanted to go full transparent. So as I said, I'll have links to all these down in the description if you want to take a look at them. They are affiliate links, and if you use those links, it does help this channel, and I do appreciate that. If you have any questions about any of these controllers, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to get down there and answer your questions the best I can, but guys, that is gonna do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, make sure you are subscribed. We'll see you in the next one.